We continue now at the top of Daf Mem Vav Amud Aleph in Meseches Nazir. This is Nazir Daf 46a. The Mishnah is discussing at what point in time is a Nazir allowed to drink wine and is allowed to become Tamei Meis. The Mishnah continues with the opinion of Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Rabbi Shimon says, Kevan shenizrak olav echad min hadamim. Once one of the bloods of one of the karbanos is sprinkled, at that point in time, hutter hanazir lishtos biyayin uli tamei lemeisim. At that point in time, the Nazir is mutter to drink wine and to become Tamei Meis. And the Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, V'achar yishta hanazir yayin. It says that afterwards, so then the Nazir is allowed to drink wine. Achar hamaisim kulam, after everything is finished, divrei Rabbi Eliezer, that's Rabbi Eliezer's opinion. V'chachamim omer, and the chachamim say, Achar maisi yachidi, after one act, after one individual act, that's when it's mutter for the Nazir. And Rashi explains, Achar maisim kulan, achar karban, v'achar teglachas. It means after the karban and after the shaving, the teglachas ma'akeves divrei Rabbi Eliezer, because Rabbi Eliezer holds the shaving is required in order to permit the Nazir. And Rashi continues, V'chachamim omer achar ma'aseh yechidi. The chachamim say after one action means achar karban, means after the karban. V'afagav shadayin lo gilach, even though he didn't shave yet. The teglachas lo ma'akva, because shaving is not required to permit the Nazir. Tosa says, Achar ma'aseh yechidi af echad min adamim. Yechidi means to say, even if just one of the bloods is sprinkled, kedemashma b'masnisin, as is implied in our Mishnah. And the Gemara continues, Maitai mayu de Rabbanon. What's the reason of the Rabbanon that after a single action, the Nazir becomes permitted? Ksiv hacha, the reason is because it says over here, V'achar yishta hanazir yain. It says, and after this, the Nazir can drink wine. Ksiv hasam, and it says over there, just a little earlier in the psukim, Achar his galcho es nizro, that after he shaves his nazirus, Mahasam achar maisi yechidi. Just like over there, the achar, the after, is talking about in the context of the pasuk, it's talking about after one action. Afkan, so too over here, achar maisi yechidi. It just means after one action. The Gemara says, how do you know that? Maybe you should just read it according to the simple reading of the psukim, that he has to do both of the actions, and only after the shaving as well is he allowed to have wine. And the Gemara says to that, if so, Gezerah Shava Lamali, then there would be no need for the Gezerah Shava. The Gezerah Shava must be teaching something. It's teaching that after one action, the Nazir becomes permitted. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. Rav says, Tenufa ben Nazir ma'akeves, the waving of the karban by the Nazir is ma'akev, meaning to say without doing the tenufa, without doing the waving, so the Nazir is not going to be permitted to have wine and to become Tamei Meis. The Gemara says, Aliba Deman, who are we following? Ilema Aliba de Rabbanon. If Rav is following the opinion of the Rabbanon, Tiglachas Amri Rabbanon lo ma'akva. The Rabbanon say that even shaving is not ma'akev. Tenufa miboy, do we need to say anything about the waving? Certainly according to the Rabbanon, the tenufa is not going to be ma'akev. Ela Aliba de Rabbi Eliezer, rather will say that this is following Rabbi Eliezer, but pshita, but that's obvious. If Rav is saying that according to Rabbi Eliezer, the waving is ma'akev, we know that. Ha'amar Rabbi Eliezer, achar maisim kulam. Rabbi Eliezer says it's after all of the actions. Only then does the Nazir become permitted. The Gemara says, Mao de Tema, what might you have thought? Kevan del inyan kapara shiyore mitzvah. Since regarding atonement, the waving is considered peripheral to the mitzvah, meaning to say if you don't do it, you're still going to get a kapara, you'll still get an atonement. So hachanami lo ta'akev. So you'll say, since in general that's true about tenufa, that it's not ma'akev for kapara, so also over here it's not going to be ma'akev in terms of permitting the Nazir, kamash malon. So that's what Rav is teaching us, that the tenufa is ma'akev within Rabbi Eliezer. We will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Mem Vav Amud Beis.